Good evening and welcome to episode 131. As always, let's start with our gratitude attitude. So, if you would please gently close your eyes. Take a deep breath. As you exhale, relax your body. Take another deep breath. As you exhale, let your stress melt away. Take one more deep breath. As you exhale, let yourself completely loose. Now, think of one thing that you're thankful for that happened in the past week. Once you identified that, think about why you are thankful. And now let's set it free. If you're by yourself, say it out loud what you're thankful for and why. If you're with someone, tell it to each other. So I attended a meditation retreat over the weekend. And during that retreat, a teacher who is actually a monk, he mentioned something that got me thinking. He said, we often think that people are our enemy, may it be our co-workers, our neighbors, you know, whoever, right? Our distant family. However, our real enemy is our delusions, our anger, our attachment, our hatred, our jealousy, so on and so forth. So, if our real enemies are delusions, and other people's enemy is also their delusions, then other people are friends since we have the same enemy. Hopefully that makes sense. So, let's dig in. Often we consider other people as our real enemy. Let's say you're driving and someone cuts you off. This is how road rage starts, by the way, right? Someone cuts us off, intentionally or otherwise. All of a sudden, we get all riled up. I've seen people chase the guy who cut them off, right? And that puts not only themselves, but all the other people around them in danger, all the other drivers, just because they perceive driver as their enemy. Now, sometimes the other driver may not even realize that they cut us off. They must be just driving, right? They didn't even realize anything. They just, oh, I was just going in front of the other person. But now we have given rent-free space to that driver in our head. And that's the worst thing that one can do. Giving someone else space in our head rent-free, right? We get angry. And in that state of anger, we make decisions that are not prudent, right? We may cut them off or we may get into an accident. Who knows? This angry state of mind affects our health, right? Increases our blood pressure for sure, affects our cardiovascular health, our memory, and so forth. And this is true for all of our delusions: anger, attachment, hatred, jealousy. Each one of our delusions affect us negatively. It affects our mental health, sometimes makes us anxious, even depressed. And all that drama is playing out real time in our heads. Shantideva, 18th century Indian scholar, 8th century Indian scholar, he said, and I'm paraphrasing here, that we must fight our real enemy, our delusions, with everything we got. We must destroy our illusions. We must not give delusions time of day, if you will. But instead, we are thinking other people are our enemy, that driver who cut us off, or even people who we think we love. He didn't take the trash out, or someone didn't greet us properly, or they were upset with our behavior and so forth, right? But if we think about it, they all suffer a similar plight. They all have same delusions as we do. Reminds me of a story of an airline passenger. I don't know if I mentioned this before or not, but there is a father and a son, young kid, maybe 3.5 years old, is flying, and the kid's acting up. He's not behaving, he's throwing tantrums and whatnot. And a guy sitting next to the kid, obviously he's upset because, he wants his peace on the airplane. So he tells the father, you really should control your kid. And the father goes, you're right. And I'm sorry. And I'm really trying hard. But his mom passed away recently. So he's having a tough time. Think about it. The whole scenario changes, right? All of a sudden, the passenger who's complaining, he feels empathy for the kid, right? He no longer has that anger. So at one point, he was upset with this kid and father and everybody else. Next point, he's not. Because now he realizes that, hey, they are in similar issue. They're having problems in life. And this is true for everyone we think is our enemy. They all have the delusions they're battling with. That coworker that you think is always bothering you may have some personal issues that they're going through. Because we put our comfort and our needs first. Often we don't even try to think about what may be going on, right? The fact that putting ourselves first, it's called self-cherishing. And since beginningless time, we've been conditioned to think about ourselves and our needs and our comfort over everyone else's. So as a result, if someone gives us slightest discomfort, real or perceived, and a lot of time, believe me, it's just perceived, that's a we tend to regard them as our enemy. And I had this discussion with someone the other day. Look at our social fabric, right? No one wants to sit down and talk. If your view is different than mine, you are my enemy. I remember, you know, we used to say quite often back in at least, I want to say 25 years ago, maybe 30 years ago, that reasonable people can disagree. That was the saying, right? Just because you and I disagree, that doesn't mean you unreasonable or me unreasonable. But that's no longer true. Fact that we disagree, we must be enemies, right? That's self-cherishing. If we take time to put our self-cherishing aside, we'll realize that everybody's in the same boat. They all have the same delusions that we are fighting. And if all of us have the same delusions, the same enemy, then does it make sense to think, hey, these people are my friends? Because the old adage goes, enemy of my enemy is my friend. If my enemy is delusions and their enemy is delusions, then they are my friend, right? And if we put all our efforts to fight this enemy, the delusion, then we can make a difference because we all have this Buddha nature, and we talked about this pure potential, ability to be happy and peaceful all the time, right? What happens outside should not affect our inner peace, right? As they say, agony and ecstasy is within us. It's all made up in our mind. The same thing that used to make me upset makes me happy today. Think about that. So it's not the thing, right? I don't know whether I mentioned this or not, but I love pizza. And if you give me one slice of my neighborhood pizza guy Lubo's, I'm happy. Two slices, I'm in heaven. Third slice, I'm in pain. And fourth slice, I'm throwing up. The same pizza. Same guy made it, right? So it's not the external things which makes us happy. What happens in here, what happens within us is entirely up to us. And if we realize that, we'll no longer take on the world as our enemy. And the resulting peace will help us become more happy, peaceful, joyful, and otherwise nicer human being. So hope all of that makes sense. In today's meditation, I thought we'll go back to basics and spend time on empty sky meditation. We'll first settle down at our hearts as always. And then let's try to imagine our mind is this vast, bright, sunny, beautiful Colorado skies. And our thoughts are like the clouds in that sky. The clouds come and the clouds go. We'll just observe the thoughts without following them, without giving them any attention, without chasing them. And if you notice, if you just observe them, they will dissipate. Just like the clouds go away. And then we'll observe this empty like nature of space. That's it. That's the idea. If you're ready, let's begin. Please get into your meditation posture. Your back straight, spine upright, shoulders leveled. Gently close your eyes. Keep your mouth just a little bit open. So any stress you may have developed in your jaws will dissipate. Palms in your lap, right over left, thumbs gently touching each other. Take a deep breath. As you exhale, see your stress drip away from your muscles. Take another deep breath. As you exhale, loosen yourself up like a rag doll. Bring your attention to the sensation of your breath at your nostrils. Feel the cool air as you breathe in. Feel slightly warmer air as you breathe out. Keep your attention at your nostrils for about a minute or so on your. Bring your attention at your heart. Imagine everything that happened before this moment melts to light and dissipates. Things that have not yet happened are not real anyway. There's just this moment. Enjoy the peaceful nature of your root mind at this moment. Let this peaceful moment bring the next peaceful moment. Remember, there's nothing to do. There is nowhere to go. Just enjoy. Now, imagine your mind is this vast, bright, sunny Colorado sky. not a cloud to be found. Just imagine. And your thoughts are like clouds in that sky. The clouds come and the clouds dissipate. So if a thought arises, simply acknowledge it, don't chase it, and it will go away. It may come 100 miles an hour. Still, one after another, simply acknowledge it, don't chase it. Your focus on the empty sky like nature of your mind. Thought arises, simply acknowledge it, don't chase it. If your thoughts have carried you to a different land, please come back. Go back to the sensation of your breath to center yourself. Keep your focus on the empty sky like nature of your mind. When you're ready, gently open your eyes. Any questions? Go ahead, Uncle.
Yes. You can hear me, correct?
Yeah, I can hear you.
There's some background noise, so that's why I was asking. Uh, Nirav, when you said that it's like our illusion, we carry and we make a lot more enemies than how many friends we can make basically in a life. And that is very true. For making friends, we check probably multiple times before really I should be friend with him or her. Let me see his like background or how he is or what is other people's opinion. But if I have to make somebody my enemy, I don't think even for a moment. I just go by hearsay. Somebody told me he's not a good guy and he's my enemy.
That's it. You're so right. And we don't even look at with our own experiences.
Yeah. We never even try to think that, hey, really, shall I try? Because there could be a problem with the guy who is telling me that he has a problem.
Yeah, and
And it's always there, basically. So, and other thing that it's very hard. Probably it's difficult to maintain, make a friend,
yeah,
but extremely difficult to maintain that friendship over a long period of time.
yes,
But to maintain that status of an enemy, you don't have to do anything.
that's right. It comes without effort, doesn't it?
It's a free.
Yes,
And it's a burden on you, on your brain, on your body, and your mind, and everything is occupied by that anomaly.
yeah,
Because every time, everywhere, you think of that enemy.
yeah, and it disturbs your inner peace, right? It
No, everything, your health, your mental health, physical health, everything.
Yeah, absolutely. So you mentioned something interesting that somebody else tells me that he's not nice person. All of a sudden, that person is my enemy, even if I haven't had a interaction
Yeah,
with that
yeah,
person, right? So
yeah.
Sadhguru mentioned something interesting. He says, forget strangers, right? Even with people who were, let's say, not nice to you in the past. Okay. He says, judge them only through this current interaction, and that's it. Forget the past. So
But go ahead, Nilo.
during this interaction, if that person's nice to you, right? And in the past, they may have been mean to you. Okay. So Sadhguru says, only judge these people. He says, don't judge them at all. But if you have to judge them, then judge them with your current interactions only and respond based on your current interactions and not based on past impression of those people. And I thought that was pretty profound.
I agree, Nirav, that this is true with mostly family members,
Yeah.
that they misbehave with you or they have not treated you properly, and you carry throughout your life remembering that one incident. And even if that person has done so many other good things to you,
You don't
first of
forget.
all, say, no, I don't trust him or her. He is a bad guy.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean it's true. Our prejudice always clouds our judgment.
Right.
So I think that you never get over that. So I think that is a very profound statement. That
It's a very, very difficult to forget the past, live apart, forgiving that person. Even you can't get rid of that past and move forward in your life, forget about forgiving that person.
Yeah.
And I tell every time that what is happening? The guy who has done some harm to you, knowingly, unknowingly,
Right.
is over with it because it was not intentional,
Yeah.
but you carry that burden for your life.
Yeah. Absolutely. And
Yeah.
forgiveness is very powerful. I experienced in my life personally that forgiveness is so powerful. First of
It
all,
is. The argument says, I'm not a saint, I'm not God, I'm human. So why I should forgive him?
yeah, I
Is
mean,
that?
yeah, it's I mean, and all, when you mentioned prejudice, right? Think about prejudice. Prejudice comes from memory, right? So memory is our biggest culprit. Holding on to our memories, right? And not letting them go. Because that's karma, right? That creates
Yeah.
karma for you.
Yeah. Yeah. Human memory is a curse and a boon at the same time. You have to
Exactly.
utilize it in the right way.
Yeah, but more often than not, it's a curse because most
Yeah.
most of us we just hold on to the negative things and
Yeah.
not the positive things.
Yep.
It is true. I'll tell you, Nirav, that it's sometimes, I will say, a strong memory is a blessing, but not often. It creates a more negative things in your mind because you never remember the good things.
That's right.
But remember something somebody has done bad 10 years back or yesterday, you remember every details of that incident.
Yep. Yep. And that's part of its evolution, right? Because
Yeah,
if you think about it, in the old days, you remember that, hey, that lion's going to come kill me. That memory was useful to save your life, right? But somebody said a bad word to you, holding on to that. But because of that evolution memory, we have this fight or flight response.
yeah, yeah.
So
Like, I'm not telling that all memory is bad,
right,
but try to remember the good thing
exactly.
and get over the past because you can't change it.
You can't change it. Exactly.
Uh,
Forgive.
Even thing has happened few minutes back, you can't change it.
Yep. Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah, okay.
So true.
Yeah,
Thank you.
okay.
Anything else? Anyone?
Still on?
Yeah, we're still on.
Yeah, okay. That's
Okay.
fine. That's
I'm
fine.
going to
I'm okay.
stop recording.